All right, so let's go to some of the agility videos. All right, let's look at boxing footwork, man. All right, here we go. Look at this. Okay, we're just going to jump around a little bit, maybe show you 30 seconds of it. I mean, this is the agility. So when you're doing agility moves with your boxers or with a combat person, are you doing this? Okay? Oh, look at that. Almost like a matador. Look at the feet and you tell me if this has anything to do with a hex drill, with a 5-dot drill, with an agility ladder, with trampoline training, with sand training. Look at how these guys are moving their feet. Look at what they're doing while they're moving their feet. And look at all that they're chunking to be able to make moves like that and get out of the way. And you can see that the foot, although the movement is very complicated, why is the foot movement not as complicated as we want to make it out to be? Why? Because in order to throw punches, you need ground reaction forces. So that's why they need their feet on the ground. So all this, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And the question is, doing that, making their feet faster. Their feet don't need to be that fast. Look, it's a little hop, it's a little jump, it's a pivot off of one leg, done. Done. It's not 10 yards of karaoke. Okay, or tapioca, or any of the other drills. Look, now that he's showing off, right? But that's not boxing. Look at when he's showing off, he does the agility drill on a ladder. But when it's time to fight, he plants his feet and the whole agility that we do on the ladder disappears. Okay, but that's fighting. You know, they're standing in front of each other and their idea is not to, you know, some of this, by the way, some of this video is a little blurry because it was old stuff from Michael Jordan, but bear with it because a lot of it is clear. I just wanted to bring you in. Now look at this. You'll be able to see it. Okay, especially because we're going to upload these videos up. So you're going to see all this. Look at, it's side to side, pivot. Side to side pivot, boom. Side to side pivot, bam. It's not that difficult. Look here. I mean, and that's just ball handling to the gills. There it is. Look at here. That's it. It's a little stutter and a cut. Even that, none of that is what I see in agility training. Okay? Why? Because this, you see this foot positioning? That foot positioning comes after something. Okay? It comes after ball handling. If you can't ball handle, you can't do anything with your feet. So where should you spend your time? Doing agility ladder drills or making sure that that ball is stuck to your hands without looking at the ball? Moving. All right? Because you make your feet faster doesn't mean you can use it in the sport. There's always a limiting technical factor. Ball handling, bat swinging and eyes and contact, throwing accuracy. I can give you a 120-mile-an-hour fastball, but if you're hitting a mascot with every single fastball, I don't think you're going to make it as a pitcher, right? So it's not only speed. Before you develop speed in an arm, you have to develop accuracy. You have to develop pitching skills, throwing skills, all of that. So if there is a skill which the expression of athleticism is dependent on, that skill must be mastered, and all of your time should be spent there. And the strength and conditioning component should support that. Why? Because I want to develop faster swinging. Okay, great, no problem. Core strength, all the stuff we do, beautiful. But then I want you to go to the batting cage, and maybe instead of lollygagging for 100 balls, maybe I need you to only hit 20 balls or 30 balls or 40 balls, but take your time in between each one, all right, and be game-like drilling. You need game-like intensity. And that's one thing that when we train, we ask of our people. You're not at IHP, you're in the octagon, you're on the football field, you're on the baseball field. Key thing, because that visualization and that intent and that practice is that psychomotor vigilance, all right, that you have to have Once you have your skill, you have to have the psychomotor vigilance where your central nervous system does not get tired so you can practice the skill at the moment of play. Got it? So if you look at all of this, okay? All right, so we'll stop here. Now, you go, all right, first we showed you a little bit of boxing. Then we showed you basketball, okay? Now, let's show you some agility that's just insane agility, all right? Soccer, okay? Let's show you some soccer agility. All right, let's see here. Soccer footwork. Oh, yeah, man. Whew! Look at this. This is just insane. Let's look at everything. Notice that everything, it's not that complicated. It's one crossover. It's one pivot. It's one change of direction. Okay? It's not a matter of doing things over 10 yards. So then we got to start questioning, why are we doing things over 10 yards? Why are we doing things over 5 yards? Okay, so think about this. If you're running 100 meters, all right, would you run 800 meters to improve the 100 meters? No, you would not. Would you run a mile? No. So you would not over practice, okay, what you're trying to do at a high rate, over practice it at a low rate. No, you wouldn't. So if you're doing a full agility ladder for 10 yards and you're doing lateral shuffles, let's say, okay, could you do them as fast over 2.5 yards as you do over 10 yards? Could you do them as fast 5 over 10 or 5 over 2.5? And the answer is no. If it's long, I'm going to pace myself. What is the idea of agility training? Not to pace yourself. That's conditioning. The whole idea of agility is to develop agility. And in order for you to develop, if you're doing 10 yards on any drill, or you're doing 20 counts of any drill, to learn it, fantastic. But once you master that agility drill, all right, you don't need to do that over 10 yards or 12 yards. You need to do that over 2.5 yards. As a matter of fact, I would say that all hurdle, hexagon, 5-dot, and ladder, all of those agility drills should then be transferred over to cone drills using specific sequences that are found in the sport. Once you do a little bit of agility work with a fighter, then it's time for the coach that's hitting the mitts to ask, because of the positioning, to ask for the ability that you're developing in the gym. So all that has to be tied in together. All right, so let's look at these insane guys, man, because these dudes are insane. Let's look at a little bit of soccer agility. And of course, if you're going to see that, you only study 2 guys, right? Ronaldo and Messi. Look at this. Okay, now I ask you, you can do all the agility you want, but if he doesn't know what to do with that ball, what? You can be Mr. Fast. If you can't do that, that's the equivalent of me going like this on a piano. That don't mean I can play. So you can go to agility ladder and go like this. That doesn't mean you can play. Look at this. Bam, bam. You're going to get that in an agility ladder? Really? Seriously? Look at this. You can't even see it. Look at this. Okay, so what does Ronaldo have and Messi have? What do they have that nobody else has? Ball handling skills and a chunking ability that you're born with, plus 20 years of play, 30 years of play. So when you're born with that right DNA, which is the right eyes, the right brain, the right body, the right neurology, and then on top of that, you love a sport that will allow you to practice it from the time you're 4 to the time you're 30-something, well, guess what? This is what happens. Just like Michael Jordan. You think that Messi has done agility ladder work? No, he hasn't. He wouldn't even know what a hexagon drill is. And I guarantee you that if he comes in here and I put him to do anterior reaches on a single leg and all that, I'll fold him. I will fold him and Ronaldo all at the same time. Yet, in this domain, you ain't touching them. So my question is, what are we doing with agility work? What do you see here? Do you see any sand? Do you see any unstable anything? No, you see cleats, okay? You see a hard turf, and you see reaction, reaction, reaction. Look how stiff that is. When he puts his foot on the ground, there ain't no give. There's no amortization. There's immediate grip and go. Look at his ankles, how stiff they are. Look, they don't give. It's plant and go, plant and go, plant and go. And look at where his eyes are. His eyes are not down on his feet. His eyes are here. He's using peripheral vision to look at the ball, and he's using his vision to look downfield. Look at, see how he looks at who's in front of him? He is looking ahead. So when you're doing agility drills, if you're doing so much stuff with your feet that you have to look down and look at what you're doing with your feet, you're not even learning the right skills. That's not how they are. Look at them. Look. He looks down, he looks up, and then he looks kind of forward. He looks down, probably his eyes are pointing about 10 feet in front of him, so he can see the ball, but get a field view of who he's trying to avoid, how he's trying to get around somebody, who he can anticipate. Got it? So you saw that. The ground reaction forces, minimal amortization. Amortization means the time that you're on the ground applying force. That's what's called amortization. And the whole idea about plyometrics, what is plyometric training trying to do? Not that we even advocate plyometric training or do too much of it. Plyometric training is meant to reduce the amortization phase of ground contact. You hear that? Amortization has to be reduced in order for maximum transfer to be, maximum force to be transferred, or maximum force necessary for the skill. Okay, not maximum force that you're capable of generating. All right, it's always that what you need for sports is usually 30 to 50% of what you really, of what you can develop. Okay, so all right, so what else? What else? What else has good agility? Let's see. We just saw the best field sport for agility, of course, rugby. But rugby and football are the same. But you know what? Tennis. Woo, tennis. Yeah, man. Yeah, tennis is insane. Right? So let's see what we got here in tennis. Let's see what we got here in tennis. Where are you at? Tennis. Look at this. Well, you know, one of the best guys is Federer. So we did a little bit of analysis on how he moves. All right, so let's look at the feet and see what kind of foot movement you're watching. Look at this. Boom, one time, one crossover behind, one cross behind, one crossover. It's a single, boom. That's not even a crossover. This is a crossover, and that's it. It's a hop. So it's a crossover, a bound, a hop. You know, it's these combinations. It's not crossover, cross behind, crossover, cross behind, crossover. It's not that. All right? You're not looking at your feet. What are you looking? Your feet have to move your body subcortically. What does subcortical mean? It means it has to be a spinal reflex. It cannot go to your brain. If what do I do goes to your brain, oh, you dumbass, move to the right, comes back down, you'll never make play one. Never. So that has to be a spinal reflex. Bam, bam. All this is happening so fast that brain can't calculate anything. You got it? So it's all a series of shuffles, pivot. If you do have a crossover or cross under, it's one, so it's cross under, lateral shuffle, lateral shuffle. And all while you're chunking. Chunking means calculating all these million data points into, is it going to the right? How hard do I hit it? Where do I place it? All of that is being done faster than any computer can calculate by this computer. All right, so what else do we have? What else can we look at? Well, you know, we can look at the NFL. And you know, hell, if you're gonna see the NFL, you got to see either running backs or receivers, and we're going to see both. So you could see, look at what you're trying to train, because you need to do more of that and less of what we've been doing, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, my generation, the no pain, no gain generation, has messed up more bodies with this insane strength training that we've done. I did it. That's why I have 2 artificial hips and my knees are shot. when I go to the NSCA conference and we have the Lifetime Achievement Award, usually it's somebody limping with some kind of replacement. Why? Because they were squatting 400, 500, 600 pounds and everybody's limping to get their Lifetime Achievement Award. All right, so one of the responsibilities that I have, okay, is to make sure that this new generation can succeed, okay, in their sport, be awesome, be great, and have a life at 50, have a life at 60, not end up under a knife with half of your body being metal parts. Got it? So that's one of the reasons that I love this new approach that we have here at IHP. So let's look at some of the agility stuff that we see in, look at that, okay? Look, it's a pivot, hop, bam. All right, so you don't ever see that in any hexagon drill or nothing. Boom, one cut, another cut. And look how the cuts are not, they're not crazy. And it's a single leg, real fast. Boom, one shot. See you later. And it's a little joke. There's another, this is agility. To be able to hit somebody and cut across behind them so they are out of position has nothing to do with strength. Look at that. One cut, a little stiff arm, get out. Oh, no, I'm going to take it the other way around. Okay? Now watch this. Turn the corner, nothing major, boom, here, spin, go, bam. That spin, you do. How do you do that? Against a dummy. Those drills are there. Boom, dummy, spin, hit, spin, hit, spin, hit, spin. You practice that on the football field. Here we go, lateral, spin, bam. These are all cone drills. So my job is to give these guys single leg cutting strength and power, make everything stiff so when they do their thing, they can do their thing. Okay. All right, so now that you saw some of the agility, you know, we saw tennis, we got soccer, we got football, and we saw basketball, right? Now let's see what kind of training is out there. What kind of training do we see? And how do we know we're seeing it? Because these guys have 1 million views, 170,000 views, 200,000 views. The low one is 46,000 views, so we know people are viewing them. All right, let's see what we're viewing. Let's see what the market is consuming.